I the a-hole for not making my son speak at his grandmother's funeral despite her final wishes? Am I the a-hole for not warning my friend that a regular customer is married and she would get a low tip if she flirted with him? Am I the a-hole for not taking my kids on my ex's days? Am I the a-hole for not making my son speak at his grandmother's funeral despite her final wishes? Wow, title sounds strange. I, 35 female, never really got along with my mother-in-law. When I first married my husband, 34 male, 6 years ago, his mother was not very friendly towards me. I think she believed I wasn't enough for her son. We had a better relationship closer to her death, but it was always shaky. It was more we tried to tolerate each other for my husband's sake, but there was always the passive-aggressive comments every now and then. Now my son, 12 male, on the other hand, he was a different story. Mother-in-law adored him. I have no problem with that, as he deserves everything he has and more. She truly loved him though. Bought him gifts, spoiled him, etc. Mother-in-law died last week. Her funeral was 2 days ago. But my husband is still angry, so I came on here because I really don't know what to do and how to fix it. I understand he's grieving, which is why I may be a mega A right now. So one of my mother-in-law's wishes before her death was that my son speak at her funeral. I guess she wanted everyone to hear how much he loved her or vice versa. I don't know. Ask him to do a big speech about how amazing she was and how he would miss her when she was gone. Yes, she personally asked him this. Funeral rolls around. My husband is grieving and I guess he was just hoping to hear my son speak about his mom. When it's his time to go up there, he doesn't want to. He was understandably heartbroken and he already looked on the verge of tears. He didn't want to go up, and I didn't make him. My husband started sobbing, saying he didn't want to and he wasn't ready. We ended up leaving and we went to get some ice cream. When I came home later, my husband was yelling about how I disregarded his mom's wish and that I should be ashamed. I truly don't know. It was my part of mother-in-law's final wishes that her only grandson speak at her funeral, which is why I think I'm in the wrong. But my son said he wasn't ready, so he wasn't ready. Am I the a-hole for not warning my friend that a regular customer is married and she would get a low tip if she flirted with him? I work at a high-end restaurant and I recently helped my friend get a job here too. There is a regular customer, I'll call him Dorian, that knows the owner, so the management fawn all over him whenever he's here. And since he's an extremely generous tipper, everybody wants him seated in their section. Usually, he comes here for client meetings, but he brings his wife sometimes too. Dorian is very good looking, so a lot of the waitresses flirt with him. It's a known fact among the staff that have worked here for a few months that if you flirt with him, you're going to get a lower tip, especially if you flirt with him in front of his wife. Yesterday, Dorian and a few other people came to our restaurant in my friend's section, and a few of the other waitresses told her how jealous they were because she was going to get a huge tip from him. I noticed my friend was flirting with him, but we were very busy and didn't get a chance to warn her, and nobody else did either. She ended up getting a meager tip compared to what she would have done if she hadn't flirted with him, and she was complaining after closing time. I told her it was because she was flirting with him in front of his wife, and he doesn't like that, and she got angry at me for not got a chance to since we were so busy, but she brought up an old conversation we had the first time she saw him, and she had said he was hot and I had agreed. She feels I should have told her there and then that he was married, but he wasn't in either of our sections that time, so I never thought to bring it up. Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for not taking my kids on my ex's days? My ex and I have 2 kids, 15 male and 13 female. I have them every other Monday to Thursday. Around a month or 2 ago, he called me and said that his sister was in the ICU after being hit by a car and asked me to take the kids for a couple of days so he could see her. I was reluctant because earlier this year he gave me a hard time because I booked a vacation for me and my boyfriend, now fiancé, during my custody time, but I agreed because she could have died. We live around 5 hours away from them, so I assumed he'd drive there. stay the night, then come back the next morning, but he was gone for almost a week. Then last Friday, the day after my kids went back to my ex, apparently his oldest niece, same sister's kid, maybe 16 or 17, called him and asked for help. According to my ex, the girl's stepdad made her be her mom's full-time caretaker, take care of her half-siblings, 3 girls under 5, and do everything around the house. He asked me to take them again so he could pick up his nieces and arrange for his sister to be in some kind of care home or have a full-time carer. I asked how long this would take, and he said he didn't know and estimated that it would be around a week. I said no because he refuses to take the kids during my custody time, and he screamed at me, saying this was a family emergency, called me a petty bitch, and said I'm a horrible mom. I still refused to take them, so he called my parents, explained the situation, and left the kids with them. Now, on top of my ex giving me crap, my parents are saying I should have taken my kids because this was an emergency. Am I the a-hole for not taking my kids during my ex's custody time?